or that is your glass. Number 2 is your cladding. Okay, this is also made from your glass. Okay, and number 3 is your jacket. Okay, or that is made from your plastic. Okay, that is made from your plastic, that is your jacket. So it is consist of three basic parts. That is your number 1 is your core, number 2 is your cladding, number 3 is your jacket, number 3 is your jacket. So you can check the basic construction associated with any fiber optic cables. Okay, so at the center is the glass core through which the light propagates. Okay, through which light propagates whenever you want to transmit any signal. Okay, from one end, or that is from your transmitter to receiver. Okay, it is normally propagated through this core. Okay, which is made from your glass. Okay, so at the center is the glass core through which the light propagates. In multimode fiber, the core typically right down these are the 50 microns in diameter. Okay, 50 microns in diameter. 50 microns, as you already discussed in last class, there are two types of your fiber. Number one is multimode and single mode. And in multimode fiber, normally used to transmit more than one signal. Okay, so if it is your multimode of fiber, so diameter is your 50 microns. Okay, and in single mode fiber, the core diameter is around 8 to 10 microns. 8 to 10 microns. Okay, it consists of, so this is the part of your core. Okay, and the core is surrounded by a glass cladding. The core is surrounded by a glass cladding with a lower index of refraction. Okay, with a lower index of refraction than the core, to keep all the light in the core. Okay, and next comes to a thin plastic jacket. Okay, to protect the cladding. Okay, which is used to protect the cladding. Okay, simply remember this fiber optic cable consists of three parts. Number 1 is your core. Okay, number 2 is your cladding or glass, and number 3 is your jacket. Okay, this is basically used to protect the cladding. Okay, protect the cladding, or it is used to for protection. Okay, so fiber are typically grouped in bundle. Okay, so if you take, okay, more than one fiber in a bundle. Okay, and it is, you can check the second diagram. Okay, so it consists of three different fiber optic cables. Okay, and it is bundled together, and it is one sheath, protective sheath. Okay, cover these three single fiber. Okay, for your protection. Okay, so fiber are typically grouped in bundles protected by an outer sheath. Okay, so we can check the second diagram. Okay, so in the sheath with three fibers, it consists of three fibers. Okay, so this is the construction point of view of your fiber cables. It consists of core, cladding, and jacket. Okay, core, cladding, and jacket. And whenever you want to transmit any light pulse, okay, so and this light pulse normally carries the information or signal. Okay, so you this normally transmitted through this core. Okay, core, that is the primary components associated with this fiber optic cables. Okay, fiber optics cables. Okay, similarly in your copy, write down, simply draw this diagram, as well as write down these fiber optic cables consist of your core, cladding, and jacket. Okay, and this multi-mode fiber having typically a diameter around 50 microns, and in single mode fiber, the core normally consists of 8 to 10 microns. Okay, and if it is bundled together, more than one fiber bundled together, okay, it is protected, or it is one sheath. Okay, so protected by an outer sheath. Okay, so this is the basic structure associated with your fiber optics cables. Okay, so next is right on, fiber can be connected in three different ways. Okay, suppose you want to connect uh, two or more fibers. Okay, suppose the distance between your transmitter and a receiver, suppose 2 kilometer, and suppose one fiber consists of suppose 500 meters. So then you have to connect. Okay, connect or due to your breakdown or due to some damage. Okay, so again you have to uh, interconnect two fibers. Okay, so how will connect these fibers? Okay, so simply write down fibers can be connected in three different ways. Fibers can be connected in three different ways. Okay, so number one, the first one is plugged into fiber socket. Simply write down the first one is your plugged into fiber sockets. Okay, the number one is plugged into fiber sockets. Okay, plugged into fiber sockets. So in this first case, uh, first they can terminate the connector and be plugged into fiber sockets. Okay, so both two fibers, okay, fiber cables can be connected through the help of your fiber sockets. Okay, fiber, it is a socket. They use a fiber socket to connect two fibers. Okay, and but the loss in case of your first one, if they use this fiber socket or interconnection, so the loss is around 10 to 20%. Okay, simply write down the loss in case of your fiber sockets to interconnect two fibers is around 10 to 20% of the light. Okay, 10 to 20% of the light. Okay, 10 to 20% of the light. Okay, 10 to 20% of the light. And the second one is they can spliced mechanically. Okay, they can spliced mechanically. Simply write down the second method to interconnect two fiber is spliced mechanically. Okay, and mechanical splices take trained personnel about 5 minutes. And simply write down in case of your if two fibers connected spliced mechanically, okay, to interconnect or connect, so the loss is around 10% of light. Okay, so loss is, in case of your fiber socket, the loss is around 10 to 20%. But in case of your, if it is spliced mechanically, okay, so there is a loss of 10% light loss. Okay, 10% light loss, 10% light loss. And the third one is two pieces of fiber can be fused. Okay, two pieces of fiber can be fused or melted. Two pieces of fiber can be fused or melted to form a solid connection. Okay, to form a solid connection. Okay, so in case of your, if they fused, okay, or melted to form a, or to connect two fibers. So in this case, this loss, okay, so the percentage of light loss is very low. Okay, percentage of light loss is very low, or you can say a small amount of attenuation occur. Like a small amount of attenuation occur. A small amount of attenuation occurs. Okay, small amount of attenuation occurs. Okay, so finally, if you compare, there are three methods normally used to interconnect two fibers. Number one is they can use one fiber socket, but in this case, the loss, okay, loss is around 10 to 20% of the light. Okay, and the second one is it can spliced mechanically. Okay, so in this case the loss is around 10% of the light. And the third case is, so they can be fused. Okay, two fibers can be fused or melted, okay, to form a solid connection. So in this case, the amount of loss, okay, light loss is very low, or can a small amount of attenuation occurs. A small amount of attenuation occurs. Okay, so first we discuss what is the structure or how the construction of your optical fiber. Okay, so then we have already discussed what how they are interconnected with each other. And the third one is what are the different light source normally used, because the, in case of fiber optic connection, this light source plays one of the major role. Okay, because through light pulse, okay, where we are transmitting the bits, binary bits. Okay, so you are transmitting the binary bits. So what are the different types of light source normally used to transmit the signal? Okay, to transmit the signal. So so two kinds of light sources are typically used. Simply write down two kinds of light sources are typically used to do signaling. Number one is your LED, okay, light emitting diode. Number one is your LED light emitting diode, and number two is your semiconductor laser. Number one is your LED light emitting diodes, and number two is your semiconductor laser. Okay, so these are the two light source normally used to do the signaling. Okay, number one is your light emitting diode, and number two is your semiconductor laser. Simply write down the two kinds of light sources are typically used to do signaling in fiber optics. Number one is your LED light emitting diode, and number two is your semiconductor laser. Semiconductor laser. Okay, but the problem is if suppose uh, both suppose there are two networks, okay, two networks, okay, and one network is using suppose LED, okay, light emitting diode, and the another network suppose using your semiconductor laser, okay. So as their wavelength is different, okay, LED light emitting diode have some wavelength, and semiconductor laser also have some different wavelength, okay. So to tune this board to both the networks, okay, so tune means, so first to interconnect both the network having different light source they are using, so you have to tune means there first you have to convert, okay, so the wavelength to a common wavelength, okay, to a common wavelength, then only you can interconnect both the networks, okay, then only you can interconnect both the networks, okay, and to tune the wavelength, okay, so in which case this tuning is required. So if they are using different light source, okay, for your signaling, so in this case this tuning is required to match their wavelength, okay, so it can be used, okay, to match the wavelength, so they may insert or use, that is your Farabi parrot or Mach gender in interferometer between the source and the fiber, okay, to tune the wavelength, to tune the wavelength, okay. So simply remember, right, okay, so if they are using different light source, okay, to tune the wavelengths, so two uh, instruments, okay, or two interferometer normally used. Number one is your Fabry parrot, and number two is your Mach gender interferometer between the source and the fiber to match the wavelength, okay, to match the wavelength, okay, right. So simply remember, this is two light sources are very important. Number one is your light emitting diode, and number two is your semiconductor laser, okay. So and if you compare, okay, so if you compare this light emitting diode, okay, and your semiconductor laser, okay, so you can make a table and write down all. So this comparison, a comparison of semiconductor diodes, or you can say, and LED, okay, so semiconductor laser and LED as light sources, okay, semiconductor, sorry, a comparison of semiconductor laser, okay, semiconductor laser, okay, with LED as light source, okay, semiconductor laser and LED as light source. So if you compare, so LED with respect to your semiconductor laser, okay, so data rate, okay, data rate in case of your LED is low, okay, data rate is low, but in semiconductor laser, okay, in semiconductor laser is high, okay, the data rate is high, okay. So if you are using a LED, okay, so you can transmit low bits per second as compared to your semiconductor laser. So this is the first one. Number two, if you compare this fiber type, okay, which type of your fiber type can be used for LED and semiconductor laser, so you write down. So if you are using LED, okay, okay, so LED can be used in multi-mode fiber. Okay, LED can be used only in multi-mode fiber, not in single mode fiber, not in single mode fiber. But your semiconductor laser, okay, semiconductor laser can be used in multi-mode as well as your single mode fiber. Semiconductor laser can be used in multi-mode as well as single mode fiber. Multi-mode as well as your single mode fiber. Similarly, if you compare the distance, Okay, so in case of your LED, so if the light source is your LED, so it can travel. Okay, so the light source without any attenuation, it can travel short distance, but your semiconductor laser, okay, can travel long distance. Okay, semiconductor, the light source in the fiber, okay, can travel long distance. Okay, and if you compare the lifetime, okay, if you compare the lifetime, so the LED has long life and the semiconductor laser has your short life. Okay, semiconductor laser has short life. Okay, and if you compare the temperature sensitivity, okay, temperature sensitivity, so in LED the temperature sensitivity is minor, but temperature sensitivity in case of semiconductor laser is substantial. Okay, and if you compare the cost, the cost of LED is low, whereas semiconductor laser cost is high as compared to your LED. Okay, so this is the basic comparison. Okay, so depending upon the different factors. Okay, depending upon the different factors. Okay, so one can, and depending upon the application, okay, so one can use either LED as the light source, or you can use the semiconductor laser as the light source, okay, for your optical transmission, okay, optical fiber communication, or the transmission of light, okay, in fiber, okay, from transmitting end to the receiving end. Okay, so this is the basic comparison between your light source, because in case of your fiber optic communication, so light source is one of the important components. Okay, is one of the important components. Okay, so as we already discussed, so light source, number two is your transmission media, that is your fiber optic cable, and number three is your detector. Okay, number three is your detector. These are the basic components associated with your fiber optic communication. Okay, so this is the comparison between your different light source. Okay, so next is your the receiving end of an optical fiber consists of photodiode. Okay, so this is another components. Okay, basic components are associated with your fiber optic communication. The receiving end of an optical fiber consists of a photodiode, which gives up an electrical pulse. Okay, when struck by light. Okay, so as the in fiber optic communication, as the communication basically in the form of your light pulse, okay, at the receiving end, okay, at the receiver end, again you have to convert this light pulse in the form of your electrical signal, okay, or you can say electrical pulse. Okay, so this photodiode normally used, okay, so to convert this light pulse to electrical pulse. Okay, so the basic characteristics of this photodiode is when light fall on it, okay, it's gives some electrical signal. Okay, and based on this electrical signal we can convert, okay, it in the form of your binary bits. Either it is 0 if the electrical pulse is present, so it is represents your 0, otherwise it is 1. Okay, so the typical response time, okay, so this is important, the typical response time of a photodiode is around 1 nanosecond. Okay, the typical response time of a photodiode is around 1 nanosecond, which limits data rate to about 1 Gbps. Okay, the typical response time of a photodiode is 1 nanosecond, which limits data rates to about 1 Gbps. Okay, that means the typical response time means, so when any light pulse fall upon your photodiode, okay, so it normally takes 1 nanosecond to give the response. Okay, to convert to electrical pulse. Okay, to convert electrical pulse. Okay, suppose take one example. Suppose it take 1 nanosecond to convert any electric light pulse, okay, to electrical pulse. Then in 1 second, okay, in 1 second, how many pulse it can convert? That is equal to 1 divided by 1 nano, okay, or that is equal to 10 to the power 9. Okay, or you can say it can convert 10 to the power 9 pulse. Okay, so light pulse into electrical pulse. Okay, so and if each pulse represents your 1 beat. Okay, if each pulse represents your 1 beat, that means 10 to the power 9. Okay, so that is equal to 10 to the power 9 beats per second. So it can able to convert 10 to the power 9 beats per second. Okay, 10 to the power 9 beats per second, or that is equal to 1 Gbps. Okay, or you can say this, which limit the data rate to about 1 Gbps. Suppose the response time of the photodiode. Okay, suppose one photodiode developed. Okay, suppose whose response time is equal to, suppose, reduce, that is equal to let 0.5 nanosecond. So in this case, we can use the data rate up to 2 Gbps. Okay, 2 Gbps. Okay, but nowadays whatever maybe the photodiode exists, as its response time is 1 nanosecond. Okay, and so that's why we cannot exceed the data rate above, that is 1 Gbps. Okay, 1 Gbps. Okay, so the typical response time of a photodiode is 1 nanosecond, which limits data rate to about 1 Gbps. Simply remember or write down this one. The typical response time of a photodiode is 1 nanosecond, which limit the data rate to about 1 Gbps. Okay, Gbps. And in case of fiber optic communication, this thermal noise is also an issue. So a pulse of light must be carry enough energy to be detected. Okay, to detected thermal noise. Okay, so during transmission, okay, of your light through your fiber. Okay, so due to your thermal noise, okay, so some part of the light also attenuated. Okay, attenuated or distort. Okay, so thermal noise in an issue. So a pulse of light must carry enough energy to be detected at the receiving end. Okay, so by making the pulses powerful enough, okay, so the error rate can be made arbitrarily small. Okay, so the by making, so simply it must have sufficient power. Okay, or you can say energy, so that it can propagate from the transmitting end to the receiving end. Okay, with minimal loss. Okay, with minimal loss. Okay, so this is all about your different construction and what is the comparison between your different light source. Okay, and what is the how this photodiode basically limits the data rate. So next one, write down fiber optic networks. Okay, next write down fiber optic networks. Fiber optic networks. So all of you draw this diagram in your copy, this fiber optic networks. All of you first draw this diagram in your copy. Fiber optics, fiber optic networks. So all of you first draw this diagram in your copy. So it is basically a fiber optic ring with active repeaters. Okay, so there are two types of repeaters normally used. Number one is your active repeaters. Number two is your passive repeaters. Normally used in a fiber optic networks. So you can draw this diagram, a fiber optic ring with active repeaters. Okay, active repeaters. So you can check this fiber optic ring. Okay, so this network is a ring like structure. So this is a ring like structure. So you can check the first part of this diagram. So it is consists of your fiber optical fiber. Okay, so optical fiber is normally connected from your one point to another point, or this is the point normally known as your interface. Okay, so this point generally known as your interface. Okay, and to this each interface. Okay, so one this computer normally connected. Okay, suppose you want to take a connection through this network. Okay, so you have to connect through this interface. Okay, you have to connect through this interface, and this connection basically in the form of your copper wire or like this. Okay, to connect to this interface. So you can draw this first diagram. So this basically it consists of optical ring with active repeaters, consist of three parts. Number one is your optical fiber, number two is your interface, number two is your interface, and number three is your computer. Okay, so or the device you want to connect, or the device you want to connect. And always the connection is possible through this interface. Always the connection between your computer and to the network is possible through this interface. Okay, possible through this interface. Okay, and the second diagram represents. Okay, the second diagram represents the detail about your interface. Okay, so you can check the diagram. So this interface, okay, details of interface is represented by your second diagram. You can check the second diagram, detail of interface. So you check the second one, the detail of interface. Detail of interface. The second diagram represents detail of interface. Second diagram represents detail of interface. Detail of your interface. So what are the basic components associated with your interface? Okay, because in a fiber optic network, okay, so always the connection established between your this computer and network through this interface. And what are the basic components associated with this interface? First, it consists of a optical receiver or photodiode. Okay, because whenever you want to connect to this network, it basically the receive signal in the form of your light pulse. Okay, so first you have to convert this light pulse in the form of your electrical pulse. Okay, so I will convert this light pulse to electrical pulse, that is through your optical receiver. Okay, that is through your optical receiver. Okay, optical receiver, that is your photodiode. Okay, so then the once this photodiode convert this light pulse to electrical pulse. Okay, so the signal regenerator is used. Okay, so signal regenerator is used which converts, okay, this electrical pulse in the form of your bits. Okay, and connected to your computer. Okay, to or from the computer. Okay, suppose you want to transmit any signal from the computer. Okay, so again it is connected to this signal regenerator which converts this electrical pulse, okay, to your light pulse. Okay, and it is transmitted through this fiber. Okay, fiber. Okay, so it consists of your this interface. Simply draw this diagram. It consists of your fiber, that is your original fiber, optical fiber, and it pass, okay, pass through your optical receiver. Okay, it pass through your optical receiver or photodiode, then your signal regenerator through which this computer, okay, computer is or any computing device is connected. Then it is your copper wire, again it is connected to your optical transmitter. Okay, optical transmitter. Okay, optical transmitter. Then again it is propagated to your next interface. Okay, so again it is converted in the form of your light. Okay, or you can say direction of light propagation, and again it is next move to your next interface. Okay, it is next travel to your next interface. Okay, so these are the basic components associated with this fiber optic ring with active repeaters. Okay, so all of you draw this diagram. Okay, all of you simply draw this diagram, then we'll discuss in detail about your active repeaters and what is your passive repeaters. Okay, so active repeaters and what is your passive repeaters. So you can check in the case of your active repeaters. So it use your active repeaters. So what is the function of your active repeaters? So you can we'll discuss this fiber optic can use, okay, for LAN as well as for long haul transmission. So this diagram is over or not? Diagram to draw করছো কি नहीं? Yes. Whether you are this drawing this diagram or not? Hello. Whether you are listening or not?
Sir, listening.
So whether the diagram is complete?
Yes, sir. Done.
Okay. So this is a basic one of the form of your fiber optic network. It is a ring-like structure. Then we will cover another structure, okay, of your fiber optic network. Okay. So and these fiber optic networks can be used for your LAN as well as your long haul transmission. Okay. So one way around the problem is to realize that a ring network is really just a collection of point to point link. Okay, point to point link. Okay, so these are, if you consider these are this interface as one point, so it is basically a point to point link. Okay, through this ring like structure. Okay, and the interface of each computer passes the light pulse stream through to the next link, and also serve as a T junction, okay, to allow the computer to send and accept message. Okay, so if you consider this is a T like structure, okay, T like structure, and through this interface this computer can send message, or you can say it can receive the message. Okay, it can receive the message. Okay, so and this interface between your network as well as your computer. Okay, so there are two forms. Number one is you write down a passive interface. Number one, write down a passive interface. The first one is your passive interface. Okay, so the number one is your passive interface, and number two is your active interface. Okay, number one is your passive interface, and number two is your active interface. Okay, so in passive interface, so in passive interface, what is the method is, so they're using so in case of active repeaters, repeaters means which amplify. Okay, which amplify basically the signal strength. Okay, which amplify the signal strength. So in this case we are using this light pulse. Okay, so it strength, okay, strengthen the power associated with this light pulse. Okay, so that is the objective of these repeaters. Okay, so repeaters, so in this case what is the problem, so if you due to some problem, okay, or due to your any construction point of view, or due to some uh, technical fault. Okay, so if any of the repeaters, okay, repeaters is damaged. Okay, so communication cannot possible. Okay, so we cannot communicate. Okay, simply this network fails. Okay, so because as it is repeater associated with this each interface, okay, due to some problem, if any of the repeaters, okay, repeaters that is your treated as your active repeaters. Okay, if any of the repeaters simply damaged, okay, so this communication cannot be established. Okay, communication cannot be established. That is the case of your active repeaters. Okay, but in case of your passive repeaters, okay, so if any of the repeaters fails, okay, so still we can interconnect, or we can communicate with your other computers. Okay, we can communicate with your other computers. Okay, suppose there is a problem associated with your passive repeaters at this interface. Okay, so still in case of your passive repeaters, still we can interconnect with other computers. Okay, we can interconnect with your other computers. But in case of you, if you are using active repeaters, so if any of the repeaters fails, okay, so this connection cannot be established. Okay, the connection cannot be established. Okay, so that is the basic difference between these active repeaters or passive repeaters. So you can check a passive interface consists of two taps fused onto the main fiber. So we'll discuss in next section. We will discuss about this passive interface. So simply know what is your passive interface. A passive interface consists of two tabs fused onto the main fiber. One tab has an LED laser diode at the end of it for transmitting, and the other had a photodiode for receiving. Okay, so the tap itself completely passive and is thus extremely reliable. Okay, so that is basically this passive interface extremely reliable because a broken LED or photodiode does not break the ring. Okay, as we discussed. Okay, so it is extremely reliable. So they are simply using independent repeaters. Okay, because a broken LED or photodiode doesn't break the ring, it just take one computer offline. Okay, so it just takes one computer offline. Okay, and the other interface type is your is the active repeaters. Okay, so simply write down the other one. The other interface type is the active repeaters. The other interface type is the active repeater. Okay, so the incoming light is converted to an electrical signal, regenerated to full strength. Okay, so this is the basic function of your repeaters. Okay, regenerated to full strength. If it has been weakened, okay, if it has been weakened, and transmitted and retransmitted as light. Okay, so it is simply regenerated to full strength and transmitted as light. Okay, so but the problem in this case is if any of the active repeaters, okay, is damaged or broken, okay, so we cannot establish your communication. Okay, simply this network fails. Okay, so this simply the network fails. Okay, so the interface with computer is an ordinary copper wire. Okay, so that as you discussed, the interface between this computer, okay, simply in this case basically a copper wire. Okay, simply it is basically a copper wire, and which is normally connected, okay, connected to the computer. Okay, it is connected to the computer. Okay, and purely optical repeaters, okay, are now being used to these devices do not require the optical to optical uh, optical to electrical to optical conversion. Okay, so purely optical repeaters are used means it automatically instead of using any repeaters, okay, it automatically this function of this optical repeaters, okay, it automatically depending upon the strength. Okay, so strength it will enhance, okay, the strength of these light bulbs. Okay, right. So simply remember, so this is one example of your active repeaters. Okay, so next we'll discuss about your passive repeaters. Okay, so this diagram, okay, so this is a one example, okay, which use a passive repeaters. Okay, or you can say this is a passive connection in a fiber optic network. Okay, passive star connection in a fiber optic network. So this is one example of your active connection. Okay, so this is one example of your a passive star connection in a fiber optic network. Okay, so the disadvantage of this first type of your fiber optic ring with active repeaters is if any of the repeaters fails, okay, so this communication cannot be established. Okay, so to avoid this difficulty or problem, the second type of your fiber optic network normally used, that is known as your passive star connection. Okay, passive star connection in a fiber optic network. Okay, passive star connection in a fiber optic network. A passive star connection in a fiber optic network. So all of you draw this diagram in your copy. So in next class, so we'll discuss in detail about this passive star connection. Okay, so the first one is your fiber optic ring. Okay, so ring with active repeaters. So this is the case of your passive star connection in a fiber optic network. So in this case, if any of the repeaters or your any of the LED or any of the network simply or your connection fails, okay, still we can connect with other computers. Okay, so this is the advantage associated with this passive star connection. So all of you draw this diagram. So in next class, we'll discuss in details about this passive star connection, and we'll complete this fiber optic network. Then we will go for your wireless system. So all of you draw the diagram. After that, I'll conduct your quiz as well as you take the attendance. So all of you first draw this diagram. In next class, we will discuss in details. A passive star connection in a fiber optic network. A passive star connection in a fiber optic network. Okay, all of you check your chat box and link provided for you to appear the quiz test. Okay, so all of you appear the quiz test and simultaneously also respond your roll call, please. Abhijit Raut,
Present, sir.
Ankit Das,
Present, sir.
Simon Pradhan, Partho Sarathi Malik,
Present, sir.
Tanya Jha,
Present, sir.
Asutosh Mishra,
Yes, sir.
Nikhil Kumar, Rahul Senapati,
Yes, sir.
Anshuman Rai,
Present, sir.
Chandrakant Gupta,
Present, sir. Present, sir.
Atish Raj, Jyotish Naik,
Present, sir. Jyotish Naik, present, sir.
Pratyush Patel,
Present, sir.
Anup Kumar Mukherjee, Hariom Kumar,
Yes, sir.
Sandeep Mishra, Trivikram Patnaik,
Present, sir.
Smriti Ranjan Biswal,
Yes, sir.
Rajiv Dubey,
Present, sir.
Sikrit Modak,
Present, sir.
Sambit Kumar Sahu, Krishna Murari Sharma, Rehan Ahmad Khan, Divya Prakash Naik,
Present, sir.
Kakan Chatraj, Asutosh Sinha, Devajyoti Das,
Present, sir.
Soumya Mahapatra,
Present, sir.
Shirshak Samantray,
Yes, sir.
Ananya Lenka,
Present, sir.
Shruti Namra Mahapatra,
Present, sir.
Khushi,
Present, sir.
Niya Ranjan Pallai,
Present, sir.
Shiblu Das,
Present, sir.
Nikita Rojalin Sahu, Krishna Samal,
Present, sir.
Abhishekar,
Present, sir.
Abhishekar, present or absent? Kaif Mohammadi. Kaif Mohammadi. Anjali Gaurav.
Present, sir.
Priyavrata Das.
Present, sir.
Divya Darshan.
Present, sir.
Alisha Patnaik.
Present,
Patnaik.
sir.
Aditya.
Present, sir.
Aditya. Aditya. Diksha Kumari.
Present, sir.
Amrit Kaur.
Present, sir.
Rajesh Kumar Padi. Rajesh Kumar Padi. Satyanaran Singh.
Present, sir.
Prajwal Kumar.
Yes, sir.
Rupam Kumar Meher.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, Sambit Kumar Sahu present, sir.
पके ना की
Sir, mic टा ठीक से काम କରୁନଥିଲା।
हो जा ओके
Sir, Ashutosh Sinha, 2359 present, sir.
ओहो प्रेजेंट प्रेजेंट